Hello folks, thank you so much for joining me in another FC24 video today. I'm Ash, as always, or Brom18, whichever you prefer, and in this video I have got a set of legendary sliders for you. We recently did a video on sliders for the world class difficulty, so if you'd rather play world class, do go and check that out. You'll find it on the channel in the recent videos. This time around I want to talk about legendary as we make a few tweaks if we move up to the legendary difficulty. So with that being said, roll the intro and let's get stuck into it. So first things first, we're going to start off with the same important notice that we always start off for in these videos, and that is if you find these too easy and you want to up the difficulty, then start to make the switch to playing in full manual. As you'll see here, I'm currently doing semi-manual and semi-assisted. So the shot assistance is precision, which is semi. And if we go down, all the through pass, the lob through pass, all of the passing, the crossing, etc., all of that is also on semi-assisted and semi-manual. It really does separate the men from the boys, as I said in the last video, and a lot of people don't want to make the jump because they kind of actually, when it comes down to it, enjoy being able to kind of exploit the game and it does things for them, and it just becomes too easy. But ultimately, if you want the most realistic experience, you've got to play a manual. You don't have to switch all the way straight away. As you've seen here, I'm kind of slowly, very slowly making my way down to manual. So just tweak a couple of things. Maybe start with semi-assisted shooting and then go for semi-assisted passing as well and change that to the crossing and all that sort of thing. Gradually work your way to it and it will just feel a whole lot more realistic and it will be more challenging for you. Let's start off with the match settings then. I know you guys will want to see all of this. With the half length, anything between 5 and 7 is what I go for, because ultimately the longer your halves go on, the more goals are probably going to be in your games. And with FIFA, I'm trying to limit the amount of goals there are. Of course, you will occasionally get a high scoring game, as you do in real life. That happens. But with FIFA, it's very regular that ultimately you're going to have like games that are 5-4 and 4-3 and all this. And it shouldn't be that regular, really. It should be satisfying to score a goal. So with the half lengths on a smaller amount of time, a lesser amount of time, you'll find that there are fewer goals. Difficulty level, obviously, is going to be on legendary. Competitor mode, Just don't even bother with the feature. Have it off. Player-based difficulty will be on. It just separates some of the more intelligent and the high quality players in their team. And then tributes on classic. Game speed is on slow. And that's it for the match settings. Camera settings, quickly roll through them for you. Ultimately, I don't really make too many changes to this. One thing that I do like to do is turn off the power shot zoom, because I find it really fucking irritating, to be honest with you. But ultimately, these are the settings. So if you like my camera, these are what you can do. This is what I do for the rules. Injuries, offside, bookings, obviously on. Handball I have on except penalties, because ultimately the game can't distinguish between what actually is handball and what isn't. So what it will do is just whenever it will hit your player's arm, it will just be handball. And as a result, even if, you know, his arms are down here, his arms are in, you know, clutching to his body like this, it's still going to award handball, which is why I've got it on except penalties, because you will get more set pieces, but you don't really want to be conceding penalties because of some nonsense, really. So that's why I have it on except penalties. Referee strictness is on strict to give, hopefully, more set pieces during a game and just mix it up and give you more variation within your gameplay. That's what we are looking for here. Not on very strict though, because ultimately it does just go too crazy and you're never going to get a free-flowing game. Let's start off with the user sliders then. Sprint speed is on 20, acceleration is on 50, something I opted against doing in recent years, but what you will notice is because the sprint speed is so low, the acceleration doesn't matter so much. If you've got a player with a much higher acceleration and a lower sprint speed, then obviously it won't have as much of an effect as what you think. So it isn't going to tarnish the ratings and favour other players too much. Shot error is on 60 and the pass error is on 60. If you're playing on manual controls, change these to 50. Otherwise, you are never going to be able to score. You're never going to be able to complete a pass. Shot speed on 50. Pass speed is on 40. Injury frequency up to 65, but the severity on 30. In real life, players are going to go off injured in almost every game that you will see. So as a result, if you've got a player going off injured, either you or the opposition, in almost every game, that is realistic. Some people complain and said, oh, I got one injury in like 3 games. I had this last year. Someone was like, I've already had an injury after 3 games. This needs to be lowered. It's like, mate, really? Come on. Goalkeeper ability and marking are on 50. Run frequency is on 15. Make it less end-to-endy, more calculated. Line height is up to 60, line length is on 40, and then the width is on 45. Fullback positioning is on 70. The power bar, you can have it whatever you prefer. I personally opt for 56, just a little bit higher because of the fact that the kind of pass speed and the power bar usage has kind of changed in the recent versions of the game. So as a result, just upped it a little bit, and then the first touch control error is on 90. Next with the CPU sliders, but before we do, I quickly want to say, if you haven't done so already, check out my Patreon. The link is down below because you can get access to exclusive tactics videos that you'll only find on Patreon, the FC24 tactics package, and most importantly, my behind the scenes videos. You can see what it's like in my scouting career, behind the scenes videos of me actually scouting real games for the football club that I do work for as a scout, as well as Discord server access, fancy football access to some scouting reports as well. And a whole lot more. I think you guys will really appreciate that. And a thank you to my patrons who are keeping the channel going with their continued incredible support. Right then, sprint speed and acceleration, both these on the same 20 and 50. This time the shot error and the pass error are increased for the CPU because otherwise they do become godlike almost in legendary difficulty. So it's on 80 and 70. Otherwise, shot speed on 50, pass speed 40, injury frequency and severity 65 and 30, the goalkeeper ability and marking both on 50, run frequency down to 15, line height on 60, line length 40, the line width is on 45, fullback positioning is on 70, and then finally the first touch controller is on 90. And with that being said, if you've got any questions with regards to the system, please do let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to check out my Patreon, as I've already mentioned, lots of fantastic perks and rewards on there. It is the best way to support the channel, and they are what are keeping the channel going ultimately. So please do go and check that one out. I think you guys will really appreciate it. With that being said, we are ready to round this video off there. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell to get regular notifications every time I upload. And until the next one, I've been Ash, and I will see you soon.